Hello, my dear. Rhonda Constant, your favorite hometown medium, physical energy healer, oracle card advisor, paranormal investigator, voice for your loved one. Not much of a voice today. I'm going to try to muddle through this because I cannot afford to take another day off. Hopefully my voice will loosen up here in a minute. Let's get a little warm coffee in there. That helps. So, I don't think I've done a reading for you before. So I'd like to explain real quick how this works. I see, hear, feel, sense, know. They talk to me, but they also show me pictures, and I call it spiritual charades. I try to describe the picture the best that I can. There's always a reason for whatever they say or show. So if it doesn't make any sense now, just keep it in mind. You'll either see it later, remember it later, or somebody else will validate it for you later. Go, oh, I know what he's talking about. This is non-exact science. We communicate the best way we can. Sometimes you got to stretch it outside the box a little bit. He's not going to give me all the details. He'll give me just enough so hopefully you understand what he's talking about. So we're going to talk. Somebody evidently used to call him Billy Boy. He said, "Oh, Billy Boy's here. Billy Boy's here." You mentioned something about when I'm having a love for the Marines. I keep hoping this is going to loosen up if I talk a little bit. And I've got to get my work done. So sorry for the scratchy voice. He's showing somebody, Grandpa is showing somebody with him who has a uniform on. I can't tell for sure who it is. I want to say it's probably his father. Could be brother. I don't know. That's an awful far stretch. Usually I know at least one way or the other. Looks like a very old uniform, and it would be Army or Marine. I don't know the difference between the two uniforms, but it's definitely not Navy. It's not Air Force. It's one of those other two uniforms. Very proud of what he did, very proud of being in the service. I'm hearing World War II. So that my father was in World War II, but he was in the Navy. Which doesn't make any difference here, but so it would be somebody in that era that is standing there with Bill. He's very proud. He's helping to guide this child. I don't know how old this child is. All very small children, and most animals can see them, hear them, no problem. So whoever this man is, I'm not getting a name, and we stink at names. And I'm not getting a clear relationship, even though I feel like it might be his father. So know that he is a guide for this child. And probably when the child was younger, the child probably saw him and talked to him. Usually when they get to be about 9 or 10 years old and they kind of realize society's going to go, "Oh, you're crazy. You talk to dead people." All little kids have an imaginary friend, but they're really not an imaginary friend. They're real. Well, in my world, they're real. So I think you knew this child was talking to somebody, or you suspected, or you saw things that you thought were a little out of the ordinary. I'm not sure how to put it. When this child was younger, because if you've ever seen a little kid like hold a cookie up to the air and like they're feeding somebody, it's because they are, because one of your loved ones is there. Or sometimes they'll just wave at the air because one of your loved ones is there, especially when they're little bitty and they're laying on their back and they're giggling and gooing and cooing and laughing at nothing. They're not laughing at nothing. And when I go to cleanse a house, we get rid of the other stuff. But if there's grandparents there, let's say grandparents, and they were good people when they were here, we leave them there. They're good. They're good to have around. Good protection, good guides, good energy. Come on, boys. Was his dad's name Bill? Bill was it Bill too? His dad. We stink at names. Don't know why. We used to get them exact. We don't get them exact anymore. Don't know why it doesn't come through like it used to. But hey, can't get it all right. Okay, I'm getting the smell of some kind of smoke, and it's not cigarette smoke, or it doesn't seem to be. If it's cigarette smoke, it's some kind of a weird brand or something, because it smells different. It smells more like maybe a pipe or a cigar, or more like a pipe. So I don't know if he smoked anything. But when you get that smell, and it'll be like for 2 weeks, every morning when I woke up, I smelled chocolate chip cookies. As soon as I opened my eyes, it's like, okay, I don't associate anybody with chocolate chip cookies. I don't know who this is. So when you just get that smell, you can be in the store, you can be in your car, you can be outside, you can be in your home. It doesn't matter. When you get that smell of that pipe tobacco or whatever the heck it is, know that that's him stopping in to say that he loves you, wants you to know that he's there. So validate him, acknowledge him, tell him you love him, and ask him to bring you more signs. Give him permission. If you want to, that's your free will choice. He says you're doing very good in life. It doesn't matter if you have a mansion or not. That's not the point. You're doing very good in life. Keep up the good work. He's proud of you. Everybody has struggles. That's just life. Everybody has struggles. Everybody has hiccups. That doesn't mean you're not doing good. That's what he says. They're only little hiccups and they don't last forever. You're beautiful just the way you are. Just the way God made you. Just the way God made you. Just in case, I hope this is coming across okay. Okay, so a big black bird will be another sign from him. This talking isn't helping my voice. Um, the kind of big blackbird that goes caw, caw, caw. Oh my goodness, I can't even do it. Caw, 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 caw. Not just the chirping. So know that when you see one of these or hear one of these, that will be a sign from him. Again, validate him, acknowledge him, tell him you love him, and ask him to bring you more. And it doesn't have to be a real one either. You can be walking through the store and all of a sudden you feel your head kind of pulled to the side and there might be a little statue of one or a picture of one, or you might see a picture of one on Facebook. But it's going to be the one that gets your attention. It's not just every single blackbird you see. It's got to be one that kind of stands out, or you hear it doing the caw, 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 or you're just drawn to it. Well, those will be a sign from him. He says he doesn't want to be intimidating. He says it's Frankie. So we stink at names. Don't know why. So it could be a female. I've heard of female Frankies, but more than likely it's a male, at least with an FR name, Frank, something along that line, that he's acknowledging for some reason. He's around you a lot. He kind of stands behind you. All right, show me again. Stands behind you a little to the left. I don't know why he's a little to the left, other than maybe there's somebody else here they're not showing yet. He's got your back. He's got your back. You should feel him once in a while. Everybody feels the energy different. You're not going to feel it like I do. And usually when they do this, it's like, okay, so you know when somebody walks into the room, you don't hear them, you don't see them, but you feel them. You're feeling their energy. And you turn around, you go, somebody's here, he scared me. But you knew somebody was there. That's kind of what it feels like. Kind of like somebody's watching you. And you go, but I don't see anybody. But he is watching out for you. He says, out for you. He's watching out for you. I promise you 1,000% he can hear you. He can see you. Talk to him all you want to. He's very calm. He's very, I don't know, soothing would be the right word. Very, he's not overbearing. He's, like I'm there. I'm there for you. So what was he good at when he was here? I always tell people, if Uncle Joe didn't have a pot to piss in when he was here, don't ask Uncle Joe for financial help, because he didn't understand how it worked here. So what was Grandpa Bill good at here? Call on him for help with that. You'd be amazed what they can do to help you. But they cannot override your free will choice. You have to ask, and then you have to allow for whatever doors they open up, or people that call you, or people that pop up in your life along the line of what you asked for. But ask him for something that he was good at here, even if it was just listening to you. He says he will reassure you. You are an awesome person. You need to believe that. Yeah, we look at things so different once we get up there. And again, he's back to, yeah, you're gonna make mistakes. You're gonna mess up, but that's how you learn. That's part of growing. That's your growth. Your soul needs to grow. Your soul needs to make these mistakes and get kicked in the butt every once in a while and go, yeah, I don't want to do that again. That's learning. It's learning the hard way. I bitch at them about it. It doesn't do any good. They're going to do whatever they want to teach us. He says you learn you learn how not to walk out into the street and step in front of a moving car by getting your butt whooped. You learned. You learned from that mistake because it could have hurt you. And that's the way he wants you to learn. When you learn something new by getting your butt kicked a little bit, he wants you to think of that lesson. It's just another way of getting your little butt whipped so you don't get hurt again. Gosh, I hope you can understand me. I keep hoping it's going to clear up. Sorry. I'm trying to talk through it. I used to lose my voice every year. My family was so happy. It's the first time I've lost my voice in a long, long, long time. Yeah, heal or heal thyself. Hey, I'm better. I did do some healing this morning. Anyway, that's my business. Just apologizing. Okay, now he's talking about his mom. His mom being a soothing soul. Very soothing, very loving. But we pretty much get to be that way once we get up there. Even if we were kind of butt heads here, we kind of learn up there that that wasn't the right thing to do. So know that he's got mom with him. And he's very happy to see mom. Mom greeted him. And I will say, it could even be his grandma that did more for him like a mom than a real mom. And I always say it's that feeling. The little lady next door can feel more like your grandmother than your real blood grandmother that lives clear across the country that you talk to once a year. So it's that feeling. It's not always a blood relationship. I know that sounds a little vague, but it's just the way it works. So he's showing that you're pretty much on your path. He's not even showing a lot of hiccups on your path. At least that's not the way they're showing me. But you pretty much putted along down your path that you need to. He says you're good to go. Even when you don't think you are, you're good to go. He mentions a Carol or Carolyn. So again, you might have to stretch that name out of the box a little bit. For some reason, he's acknowledging a Carol or Carolyn. He says back in his day, and he's talking about when he was younger, we had it so much easier than you guys do now. So much easier. And we thought life was hard. And it was so much better than the crap you have to put up with now. He says, go back to basics. Oh, there's a song called, what is it, Back to the Basics of Life? I can hear it in my head. Oh my goodness, even Alexa won't work for me because she doesn't know it's me. I had to go get the other one on. Anyway, back to the basics of life. Ended up with Lukenbach, Texas. Back to the basics of love. Usually Alexa pulls up exactly the song I'm supposed to hear, but I think it's just because she can't understand me today. Anyway, go play Lukenbach, Texas. There's something in there for you from Grandpa. Sorry for the hiccups. Okay, but he still wants you to go back to the basics, like when he was younger. And he says he doesn't mean give up your air fryer or your Alexa or your, that still didn't wake her up, or your new modern day computers, electronics. He doesn't mean that. But when they didn't have all of that back then, they had each other more. They had a home. They had a family. They had not all these distractions. Gotta think. Come on. It's going back to the basics of the family core. It's like if you could turn all the electronics off for an hour, go sit outside for an hour without your phones. I can't do it. Oh Lord, I can't have it out of my hand. Go. You don't have to give up your, he says, new fandangled stuff, but find that basic stuff, hardcore family, basic togetherness, love stuff is what he's trying to get at. If you could take all the new modern shit out of the way, back then we had to turn the TV. We didn't even have remotes. Tells you how old I am. And Mom made us turn the TV off during dinner, and we had to sit at the table. It still fought like cats and dogs, but that's the kind of back to basics he's talking about. He says everybody's run through McDonald's, run, go to a ball game. I don't know how old your kids are. Run, go to this, run, go to that. He says you need to stop and breathe and think about the basics, the very bottom basics, underneath all of our foo-foo stuff now. He says that's where you're going to find the true core love of family. It's not on Alexa. It's not on the TV. It's not on Google. He says your soul is craving that. Your soul and your spirit is craving that, because that's what you get when you go up there. He says you'll be one jump ahead if you learn it down here. And now my right ear started to ring. I have tinnitus. Both my ears ring all the time. But when one ear rings, and it's usually my left, but I don't know why the right one, but he's over here on my right. It's one ear ringing. The higher pitched and louder shriek it is, it'll be like an archangel for me anyway. Be a higher up. The lower the pitch, the lower it'd be like maybe your grandpa or one of my loved ones or something. So whenever you hear that shrieking in one ear, just stop, pay attention. What's going on around you right at that moment? What is it you're supposed to be paying attention to? Or tell them your vibration's too high, I can't understand you. You're trying to tell me something, you're trying to get my attention, but you're going to have to come down to my vibration. What is it you want me to see? Look around you at that moment. Maybe something that's being said on the TV or something you're looking at on Facebook. Just pay attention at that moment. There's some reason that they're trying to get your attention when they do that. He says you have the gift of gab. G-A-B. Use it in a good way. Look, I got up so early, the sun's coming up now. It's not so dark in here. He says you can go a long ways with your gift of gab. Use it. And spread the love. He says you've been a little bit closed off lately. A little bit, maybe you're protecting yourself more than you know. Something you're trying not to let in. He says, what do you see when you look in the mirror? Do you see the same beautiful person that I see? Not me, him. Do you see the same beautiful person I see? He wants you to look at yourself through his eyes. That you're perfect, you're beautiful, inside and out. Look at yourself like he would look at you. Look at yourself with the love that he would look at you with. He's calling himself Billy Boy again. Look at yourself through somebody else's eyes that loves you. We condemn ourselves a lot, don't we? Especially us women, I think. So when you do that, actually go look in the mirror and look in your own eyes. And think about what he would be thinking if he was looking at you. He will be standing right behind you when you do that. You could possibly see a shadow. You could possibly see something. You could possibly see something move. So don't freak out. It will depend on whether he thinks you can handle it. But you should feel him. But his energy is pretty soft, pretty light, pretty mellow. I mean, he's not coming across like really strong. He's just pretty. It's kind of laid back, kind of. He's good. Full of a lot of love for you. He loves you a lot. So if you need some guidance, call on him. I promise you he can hear you. I promise he'll do what he can to help. With that, he's going to leave. He's got, what's he holding? He's holding one flower. Oh, it's a lily. I was trying to think of the name. He's holding one lily. So I don't know if you've given him lilies, or you have some lilies outside, or maybe you've taken some lilies to the cemetery. Maybe he has some planted next to his tombstone. I don't know why he's holding one lily. And with that, he's going to leave. He's taking his lily with him. Okay. Much love to you, my dear. Thank you for putting up with my voice. It doesn't affect the reading. It just affects the way it comes out. Sorry about that. Can't help it, but I've got to work. I'm too far behind. Anyway, much love to you. Thank you for putting up with me. And thank you for allowing me to be his voice. Rhonda Constant, your favorite hometown medium, physical energy healer, oracle card advisor, paranormal investigator, voice for your loved ones. Later.